Hey, it's Mila. Welcome back to my channel. Sorry, there's like text coming in about something, but I'm like, okay, I'm filming. We forget about the text. But hi. So if you're new here, if you haven't seen my face before, I make everything from like bookish to college, sorority type content. Like, it's always a vibe here. So definitely hit the subscribe button, leave a thumbs up. And without further ado, let's get into all the books that I read in October. So we start off the month with fantasy, and I read The Bridge Kingdom and The Traitor Queen. I know there's a third book in this series, but there's more books. I think the third one is Laura's brother. Then I know there is a fourth, a fifth, and a sixth. I want to say 2 or 4, Laura's brother, and I forget her name, but that girl who they rescued while they were rescuing Aaron. Yeah, I think that's that. Then we have another 2 books that's about Aaron's sister. I honestly, for the life of me, can't remember her name, but I think 2 books are Laura and Aaron. Another 2 books are Laura's brother and that girl, and then the other ones are Aaron's sister and another guy. I think so. That's what I want to say. But yeah, we start off with fantasy, and honestly, I really like this. I heard that this was like steamier fantasy, or like I don't know if I got marketed it wrong, but that's what I heard. So I was like, okay, that's not what I'm like super into. I'm not really into like smutty things, but I actually really like this, and I feel like it was like the perfect balance between like story and like romance. Like, I would say this is a fantasy romance, because it does have more romance than other fantasies that I read, but it's still like super big on like the fantasy, like the war, the different like kingdoms and stuff. I really like these. I want to say I rated them. I really should have checked my like story graph, but if I made a mistake, I'm gonna like correct my ratings in the corner over here. But I think I rated both of them 4 stars. Really liked it. I flew through it, and I was also kind of listening to the audio. Because like what I do is like sometimes I audio and I read, like I switch it up, and every single chapter kind of had a little like introductory music thing, which I really liked. But yeah, like you don't have to read the other books. Like the story ends here between Aaron and Laura, because like the big battle thing it ended. So I don't know how the other books are. Like, I do want to read the other books, but it's okay. I don't have to read them like back to back. I can like read these, like this couple, then the other one, then the other one. But yeah, 4 stars for both of these. I really enjoyed them. And next we have It Ends With Us. So It Starts With Us came out this month, and I wanted to do a little reading vlog, because I never read It Ends With Us, even though Evan was like, read. I was like, no, okay, I'm gonna wait until October. I'm gonna read It Ends With Us and It Starts With Us, make a reading vlog out of it. So I read It Ends With Us, and I understand what people say. Like, it's so heartbreaking, because you see the repetition of a pattern, and a pattern that that Lily never thought would happen to her, and like if like eventually at the end she has enough like strength to end the pattern, hence why we call it It Ends With Us. But it's just like, because basically how it is and It Ends With Us is that, if you don't know what it's about, so you have Lily. She comes from a abusive household. I don't know if I can say that, but yeah, like she didn't grow up in the best household. Her father was like very abusive to her mom. Like, it never touched her. I think there was a little incident that she got hurt because of him, but it was only that one time. Like, I might be completely wrong, but I think there was like 1 or 2 incidents that it was like an accident, but it was like mainly really directed towards her mom. Like, that's how she grew up. And then you have Atlas, who I don't want to say that much because it doesn't say in the back, so I don't know if it's a spoiler, but Atlas is a guy who was in her past, who she like really had a very strong connection with, but he ended up moving away. I'm not gonna say more about him because the story isn't really focused on him. Like, yeah, you see like flashbacks in the past through letters that she writes, and you see the relationship between her and Atlas, and that's when you really find out about the relationship between her and her mom, her and her dad, and just like the whole family dynamic. And those letters, you go through so many emotions because it breaks your heart hearing what she saw, but also it's like so cute and like warm when you read about Atlas. And she ends up meeting a guy called Ryle. You think things are going well, but then there's like little signs here and there, and it's like throughout this entire book, I was like, I know exactly where this is going, and that terrifies me. At some point, I even had to like close the book to like take a breath and like process what I just read. Like, you just feel so much, and then every time Atlas comes back, there's so much hope. But then with Ryle, it's just like, it's, you go through so many emotions in this book. Like, I really did want to rate this 5 stars, but I'm like, because yeah, it made me feel so much, but did I enjoy it? That's the thing. So I'm like, did I enjoy reading this? No, I didn't. But I felt so many things. This book like really touched me. So I don't know. Like, I think I rated it 4.75 because it was like, it feels weird giving it a 5-star based off of what this book is about. But 100% recommend. Like, you go through it in this book. Yeah, chronologically, I didn't read It Starts With Us after this, but I'm gonna talk about It Starts With Us because I'm kind of like on a roll here. So I don't have the physical book with me because I just lent it to my friend. But It Starts With Us like literally picks up right when It Ends With Us ended, and that one is just so full of hope, so happy, so exciting. But then something happens and you thought would never happen again because it ended, but it happens again, and you're like, no. But it's so good. Like, I think I rated both of these 4.75, or rated It Ends With Us 4.5 and It Starts With Us 4.75. Like, obviously I can't talk too much about It Starts With Us, but it's basically the continuation of It Ends With Us, and you see Lilia and Atlas's story. Super cute, 100% recommend, and it's Colleen Hoover, so like, you read it really fast. So that was that for the first reading vlog. Then for the second one, I wanted to read thrillers for a week to get into the spooky vibes mood. So I started off reading Bunny, and like, when people tell you that Bunny, you don't understand what's going on. You literally don't understand what's going on. Did I enjoy it? Absolutely. Was I shook? Was I confused? Did I not know what to feel? Absolutely. Did I love it? Absolutely. Like, basically, Bunny, it's like, how do I even describe it? Bunny is basically, like, I'd say it's kind of like dark academia, but like horror. Like, I wouldn't call it horror. Like, I know this book is classified as horror. I don't know if I'd call it that, but it's mainly like fucked up and like weird and like psychological, because technically in the end, you don't really know what to believe is like true and reality and what isn't. In some books, like, you have a very like clear knowledge, I guess you can say, if there's like supernatural involved or if it's just like psychological, but it makes them think that there's like some supernatural involved. But in this book, you honestly cannot tell, because yeah, the supernatural can be involved, but then, like, I don't want to spoil it, but there's a lot of like psychological also. There's just a lot going on. Like, it's very, very interesting because it's so confusing and weird, but I honestly 100% recommend. Like, I guess this book definitely is not for everyone, because you do have to use your brain and stuff like that to pick up on like little things. It's a whole, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. It's a whole like mind fuck in itself, and again, in the end, you don't know what to believe is like reality. Like, you don't know, okay, do I actually trust this narrator? Because why shouldn't I trust her? But then looking at other people, it's like, should I trust the other people? Like, how do I know what's going on? If you've read Bunny, please DM me on Insta. Like, it's linked down below, because I do want to talk to you about it, especially the last page, like the last line. I'm like, wait a damn minute. But honestly, if you read this, like, you do have to pay attention, because I feel like if you pay attention, you can pick up on like a few little things. But yeah, Bunny, I think I rated it 4.5 or 4.75. Really enjoyed it, really recommend. Then after that, because I read The Silent Patient back in September, so I wanted to read Alex Michaelides' second book, The Maidens, and oh my god, he's like an auto-buy author. I love him. So this kind of like follows what he did with his last book, with like Greek, like ancient Greek like stories, or just like Greek things. That one is like psychological thriller. This is more dark academia thriller. I just want to say the reveal of like who was killing people, I did not see it coming. There was nothing, absolutely nothing to make you think. Technically the killer, like, I don't want to get too into it, but technically the killer, not killers, but like they were connections. They were connections between people, but like you would have never expected, because it's so messed up. so messed up, but it's so good. It's atmospheric, it's entertaining. Like, Alex Michaelides just has a way to write that you just like completely immerse yourself in the story, and it's so good. So basically what happens is that there's this I want to say she's a psychologist. I think she's a psychologist. So you have Mariana, who's a psychologist, and she has a niece called Zoe. So Zoe calls her like randomly, and she tells her that one of her like really close friends like got murdered. I don't know if she knows that she got murdered or if she's like dead, but like she calls Marianne saying that like one of her close friends is like dead. So Marianne comes to Cambridge. I want to say this is set in Cambridge. Yeah, Cambridge, to make sure that she's doing okay. And then like Marianne kind of like investigates for herself a little, because she knows one of the not a psychologist, but like some guy on the like task force that's like meant to investigate this, who's like the psychology of the things. I don't remember his title, but yeah, they knew each other. So she kind of like sticks around and like tries to investigate, find out the plan. And oh my god, like it's so much deeper than you actually think, and there's absolutely no way of like figuring out what actually happened. It's so good, so entertaining. Like honestly, I cannot say if I like The Silent Patient or this more, because like both of them were, as thing, you can't even compare them because they were so different, but they were so good, so good. Like if you've never read Alex Michaelides, please read The Silent Patient and this. And actually that's something that I really found interesting, is that there's a reference to a character in The Silent Patient, and like if you've read The Silent Patient, you are kind of led to believe one thing, but it's actually really interesting how you find out something through this book. And it was actually Marianne who kind of pushed like the story of The Silent Patient to happen, which I found very interesting, you know, because like you don't think it's that from The Silent Patient, but yeah, so it's like I really like what he did with that. But yeah, 100% recommend. I think I rated it either 4.5 or 4.75. Really enjoyed it. So good. 100% recommend. After that, I was waiting for a package from book outlets to come, so I picked up a thriller on my shelf, which is One of Us Is Next. So I read One of Us Is Lying during the summer, and I really enjoyed it. Like, it wasn't wow or anything, but I went in expecting something, and that's exactly what I got. This one, it kind of has a play on Simon's blog from the first book, but here it's more of a like truth or dare type of game, and that part I actually really enjoyed. But then I feel like as the story progressed, it kind of like became flat and stuff like that. I did like the characters. I liked how there were appearances from the characters from One of Us Is Lying, but I don't know, I feel like she could have kept the game going for longer. Like after finishing the book, you understand the point of the game and stuff like that. But it would have been more interesting if we saw more of it, kind of like how we saw all of the secrets being released from Simon's blog. This one, I think I rated it 3 stars. Like, honestly, if you read One of Us Is Lying, you don't have to read One of Us Is Next. Like, not that you shouldn't read it, it's just like, if you want to stop at One of Us Is Lying, I think that that's a good place to stop. Again, this book wasn't bad, I just kind of like expected more because I liked One of Us Is Lying. But yeah, so that is that. Then my package from book outlet came, so I wanted to read The Chain. Oh my god, like, just the premise of this, right? So your child is kidnapped, and to get your child back, you have to kidnap another kid. And the crazy thing is that, like, you find out at the end that this actually happened. Like, that's the terrifying thing about this book, because like psychological thrillers or other thrillers, like, you know, okay, this doesn't actually, like, sure, this might happen or something, but like, what are the odds? But just the fact that this story, like the author said, he based himself off of something that actually happened. That is fucked up. That's absolutely messed up. And that's the thing, this is so realistic because it could totally happen. And that's what like messed with my head. The concept, I loved it. Like, never seen before. Loved it. So the first part of the book, absolutely loved seeing our main character, what's her name? I forget her name, but seeing like the main character like try to figure out what's going on with her daughter, try to plan like a kidnapping of another child, having that go wrong and having to kidnap another kid. Like, it's so fucked up. Like, you understand her. Like, and that's the thing, it's such a messed up thing to do, but you root for her because, like, she wants her kid back. Like, she has to kidnap another kid so they don't kill her kid. Like, midway in the book, it felt kind of flat, but the ending, when you find out who is the originator of the chain, it is fucked up. It is so fucked up, but it's so good. Like, there's a whole shootout scene at the end with the kids, and I'm like, it's wow, 100% recommend. Just like the only thing you have to know is that the kid is kidnapped. Like, your kid is kidnapped, and you have to kidnap another kid to get your kid back and continue the chain. I don't remember. I think I rated this 4.5 because it did fall flat, like, in the middle, so I didn't really want to rate it higher. But yeah, recommend, because it is something. Like, it's nothing like you've ever read before. After that vlog, I read It Starts With Us, then I read A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime. And one thing that actually really, like, sold me on reading this book is the innocence of the main character. Because, like, I know that a lot of people kind of, like, criticize the main character, I think, from what I've heard about this book. But I actually, like, really like it because it's, like, different than other books, right? Because, like, she knows what she believes in. Like, yeah, like, her dad kind of, like, engraved it into her. But I like how she, like, sticks to her standards, like, what she wants and stuff like that. So, like, obviously, in the end, she does fall for Crew and she gives in to him. But it's, like, she doesn't take shit from anyone. Like, she knows that other people are, like, saying things about her. She knows that other people don't really, like, think the same way as her. But she's so, like, set on her things, like, not in a bad way, because you know that can be, like, a bad thing, but she, like, you know, she doesn't let herself get influenced by other people, basically. That's what I meant, and I really like this about that. And just, like, this whole book, like, honestly, I feel like it was kind of long. Could have been shorter, yes, but I did still really enjoy it. Like, I feel like you did need the build up, but I feel like it's, like, tiny bits too much build up. I mean, I don't know, like, not that it's a bad thing, I just feel like it could have been, like, a tiny bit shorter. But I really enjoy this. So basically, you have Ren and Crew. And Ren, she knows that, like, she doesn't want to, like, hook up with people. Like, that's not her thing, like, at all. She's never even kissed a guy and stuff like that. Because she believes that, like she knows that she wants to wait until, like, marriage for anything. And she doesn't want to, like, lose herself in guys. Which is, like, totally, like, respectable. And that's how, like, I see things, you know. Like, I don't want to, like, lose myself in that. Or it's, like, you know, like, her, like, she says that seeing her friends go through all that, like, she doesn't want that for herself. And, like, I get that. I totally get that, which is what I really liked about this book. And then over time, like, you see how she, like, realizes how, okay, like, her friends aren't really, like, friends. And she just, like, she kind of, like, clears up her head on, like, the life around her. And she kind of, like, gains other, like, perspectives, which is also what I really liked. Because I feel like I could really, like, relate to her as a character. Then in comes Ren, and, like, she thinks that he hates her and stuff like that. And then, like, over time, they get to, like, know each other. And it's just, like, it's really good. Like, it's a really good book. And, again, I really feel like I connected with this character. So I did enjoy it. I think I rated it, I want to say 4.5. I really should have checked my, my story graph. But, yeah, 4.5. So this 4.25 or 4.75, 4.25 or 4.5, I don't remember. But overall, this reading vlog, this reading month has been really good. Like, it was only one, like, 3-star, but everything else was above, like, 4.25 or 4 stars. So, like, I'm really happy. I did, I don't know where it is right now, but I did start reading Kill Switch. We're currently October 30th, and I'm, like, 5 chapters in, so obviously I'm not gonna finish it because it's, like, literally Penelope Douglas's Devil's Night series books gains another 100 pages every single book. Like, Corrupt is, like, 400, Hideaway is, like, 500 and something, Kill Switch is, like, 600 and something, Nightfall is, like, 700 and something, and I'm like, is it necessary? No, but, like, do I want it? Yes. Yeah, so I started reading Kill Switch. Obviously, I'm not gonna finish it, so I'm gonna carry it on into the month of October. But overall, this month, I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books, and I'm really proud of myself, especially with, like, midterms and, like, sorority things and everything going on in the month of October. I do not have any exams in November, so I'm planning to read a lot more, but then I know December is gonna like slow down, so I'm trying to like pack as much as I can in the month of November. But yeah, so if you've read any of these, or if you want to read any of these, let me know down below. If you want to talk about a book, either down below, like spoiler free. If you want to talk about like spoilers, message me so we do not spoil it for other people, because I really don't want to do that to other people. But yeah, all my socials I linked down below, where you can follow me, find more information and everything like that. And that's gonna be all for today. So I always forget how I sign off. So protect your vibe, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye guys.